I pulled up the SPC radar at 5 a.m. Friday, May 29th is already one for the books. 80 miles per hour wind gusts are flagged for West Texas, half-dollar hail near Lubbock this afternoon. Saturday is shaping up to be the most significant severe weather day in 10 to 12 days. And late May snow is falling in New England tonight, something almost nobody saw coming. A senior SPC forecaster described today's Omega block pattern as one of the more unusual late May setups. An Omega blocking pattern has taken full control of the weather map across the entire United States. We have an upper-level low spinning over the Rockies and a separate low over the Northeast simultaneously. No joke, the Omega block explains Plains severe weather and New England snow at the same time. That same pattern builds a massive ridge across the South flat-out, fueling severe weather coast to coast. By the second week of June, the European model hints at significant storm systems entering the country. Plain and simple peak severe weather season is not done, and June is about to prove that. Let's start with what is happening right now today. Friday, May 29th across the southern plains. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a slight risk for West Texas covering 44,887 square miles. That slight risk zone puts 1.08 million people in the path of large hail and damaging winds today. Lubbock, Amarillo, Midland, Odessa, and Big Spring, Texas are all named in the SPC population table. The primary driver is a 90-knot subtropical jet streaming in from Baja and Sonora, Mexico this afternoon. That jet overspreads the moist sector east of the dry line precisely where severe storms fire today. A mid-level disturbance over central New Mexico this morning moves northeast into the Texas Panhandle by evening. Large hail 1.5 to 2.5 inches in diameter is possible with the strongest supercells near Lubbock. I kid you not, quarter to golf ball hail can shatter windshields and injure livestock in under 60 seconds. By evening, severe gusts of 60 to 80 miles per hour consolidate into fast-moving linear clusters heading east. Those clusters shift east into the low-rolling plains and southwest Oklahoma through late evening. A marginal risk extends north to Denver, Colorado Springs, Fort Collins, and Thornton, Colorado today. The marginal also covers Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and surrounding areas for isolated severe gust potential tonight. Rick, a retired rancher near Lubbock, cover equipment and get livestock inside before 2 p.m. today. Tornado threat in Texas today is low but not zero. The SPC has not ruled it out. Any storm that fires near Leah, just south of Amarillo, could initially produce supercell characteristics. By 4 p.m., those storms push east, producing mainly wind damage from Amarillo toward the Oklahoma border. Dallas and Oklahoma City will likely see lightning displays tonight, but storms should weaken before arrival. Here is the number that demands your attention. The SPC is showing 70% thunderstorm probability. That 70% zone centers on a small, intense area right in the West Texas corridor. Pause on that number for a second. 70% probability means severe weather is essentially locked in. When SPC posts 70% in a slight risk zone, organized severe storms are confirmed, not speculative. When SPC shows 70% on a thunderstorm outlook, organized severe weather is essentially locked in. 40% probability zones extend east through the Gulf Coast from Louisiana all the way to Florida. Folks in Houston, Corpus Christi, New Orleans, and Tampa expect rounds of heavy thunderstorms tonight. Here is the kicker most people are sleeping on today: a wildfire threat across the Southwest. The National Weather Service has issued red flag warnings across the Southwest for Friday afternoon. Humidity values as low as 8 to 10% are expected across a massive Colorado Plateau swath. 8% humidity is genuinely drier than most deserts in the world on a normal afternoon. Those extreme humidity values stretch from northeast Utah's Uinta Basin southward through Navajo Nation. Regions south of Grand Junction, including the Uncompahgre Plateau and Mesa Verde National Park, are in this zone. Wind gusts of 35 to 45 miles per hour across these parched regions have triggered red flag warnings today. The desert Southwest is in peak pre-monsoon fire season. Today's setup is genuinely dangerous. Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, and Colorado residents, outdoor burning is absolutely prohibited under these conditions. Frank, a retired park ranger near Grand Junction, asked if today is serious. Frank, absolutely yes. Mesa Verde National Park in southwestern Colorado is in the red flag warning zone today. The Navajo Nation spans parts of Arizona, Utah, and New Mexico, all under extreme fire weather today. Northwest New Mexico, Farmington, and Gallup heads up. Fire watch conditions persist through this evening. Any spark from a power line or dragging chain can ignite a wildfire in today's dry conditions. A single ignition source today, any spark anywhere, can start a wildfire in these extreme conditions. Meanwhile, the Northern Rockies carry their own marginal severe weather threat. Friday heads up out there. Storms develop across northern Idaho and southwest Montana by late Friday afternoon. Residual moisture in north-central Montana with upper 40s dew points fuels storm intensification Friday. Southerly flow at 30 to 35 knots organizes these storms into transient supercells or linear bands. Sporadic large hail and severe gusts are possible as cells spread north toward the Canadian border. Helena, Missoula, and the Bitterroot Valley, your Friday severe window runs from late afternoon through early evening. What severe weather story concerns you most today, Texas, the Plains, or the fire threat out west? Pay close attention. Saturday, May 30th, is the most dangerous day of this entire weather stretch. This is flat out the most concerning severe weather day I have seen in 10 to 12 days. A powerful upper-level low will literally be spinning over the Rockies Saturday, and good grief, that matters. A negatively tilted trough is what forecasters call high ceiling. It gathers far more atmospheric spin. Veering winds from that tilt directly enhance tornado potential. This is the ingredient Saturday hinges on. A large, sharp dry line forms Saturday from Wyoming south through Texas textbook tornado territory. Any storm firing along that dry line with sufficient lift could become a significant severe producer. The SPC posted a slight risk for Rapid City in western Nebraska, folks. That may not hold. Rapid City, North Platte, and the Sandhills of western Nebraska are in that slight risk zone Saturday. The SPC marginal extends from Billings, Montana, all the way down through central Texas. Enormous geographic scope. Good Lord, that marginal covers 292,992 square miles and 6.71 million people. Saturday, I need to stop right here because what the significant tornado parameter maps are showing Saturday is alarming. Here's the setup detail that makes Saturday so high ceiling, and no joke, this one matters. Saturday's low-level jet cranks hard all day. That southwesterly flow is the key ingredient Saturday. Betty, a retired teacher in Wichita, asked if Saturday is the day to finally dig out her shelter. Betty, yes, Saturday afternoon is exactly the day for that. Have it open and ready before noon. South Dakota sees southerly flow. The Central Plains get a stronger southwesterly jet Saturday. That wind direction distinction is what veteran storm spotters watch before tornado outbreaks form. Significant tornado parameter values, I kid you not, peak in two specific zones Saturday afternoon. One maximum sits over South Dakota. The other is centered across central and southern Oklahoma and Kansas. If a discrete supercell fires in Oklahoma, Kansas Saturday, strong tornadoes are genuinely on the table. Good grief storm mode is the critical factor. Saturday, discrete supercells for tornadoes, lines for wind. Leave your city in the comments. I will pull the latest model data for your area tonight. If storms stay discrete Saturday, the tornado threat, no joke, goes substantially higher. Dew points need to reach low to mid-60s for peak tornado potential. Models currently show low 50s. That dew point gap is the uncertainty that could suppress the tornado threat in western Nebraska and South Dakota. Oklahoma and Kansas have richer moisture. Those are the storms to watch most closely Saturday. By 6 p.m. Saturday, South Dakota and Wyoming storms produce damaging winds east of the low. By 8 p.m. Saturday, expect 60 to 80 miles per hour gusts from Rapid City toward Bismarck and Pierre. Central Plains storms upscale by 10 p.m. near Wichita, Salina, and potentially Oklahoma City Saturday night. Earl, a retired rancher near Rapid City, you better believe it, have your plan locked in Saturday. While all that Plains action unfolds, the Pacific Northwest still has lingering storm activity through tonight. Thursday's Columbia Basin storms expand across Oregon, Idaho, and Washington through Friday evening. East of the Cascades, the severe threat lingers. Conditions remain increasingly favorable through evening. Large hail up to 1.5 inches and 70 miles per hour wind gusts remain possible in eastern Washington tonight. Some storms could still rotate, keeping a low but notable tornado risk alive in the region tonight. Spokane, Yakima, and the Tri-Cities heads up. Scattered severe storms remain possible through midnight tonight. A flood warning is active for the Stehekin River in Chelan County, Washington. Minor flooding is ongoing. Central Washington also carries a moderate heat risk. Today, temperatures affecting heat-sensitive residents. Pacific Northwest, Plains, or Southwest, drop your city below, and I will cover your exact timing tonight. Now here's the story that is making meteorologists do an absolute double-take across the entire country. Late May snow is about to fall across New England overnight tonight into Saturday morning, no joke. A strong low-pressure system is developing over Canada right now and dropping into New England tonight. That low bottoms out around 999 millibars overnight as it tracks just offshore the New England coast. The blue on the forecast maps does not lie. Snowflakes forecast as far south as Worcester, Massachusetts. Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and potentially even the northern suburbs of Boston could see snow flurries Saturday morning. Western New Hampshire and northern Maine, higher elevations are looking at 1 to 2 inches of snow. 2 inches of late May snow, I kid you not, most New Englanders have never experienced this. Wind chills Saturday morning across New England range from the low 30s into the mid to upper 20s. Mid-20s wind chills in late May, plain and simple, one of the most remarkable cold outbreaks recently. Snow will melt quickly on most surfaces, but the cold blast will feel genuinely shocking Saturday. Gary, a retired electrician in Portland, Maine, your snow brush from winter, you might actually need it Saturday. Portsmouth and Dover, New Hampshire could actually see brief snow flurries Saturday morning, genuinely rare. The White Mountains of New Hampshire, including Mount Washington, may see 3 to 4 inches of accumulation. New Hampshire's presidential range, y'all. It gets late May snow more often than lowlands, but still very rare. Ski resorts closed for the season are looking at fresh snow on their trails this weekend wild. This same cold air will hold temperatures in the 30s and 40s across much of New England Saturday. I need to come back to something the European model just flagged for the second week of June. The Omega block shifts as June arrives, and folks, what follows is a far more active pattern. Here's what I want you to burn into your memory about the June pattern shift. The mesoscale convective systems of early June tend to produce the most widespread damaging wind events. Those late spring MCS events roll across the Midwest and Mid-South like freight trains at night. If an MCS hits Oklahoma or Arkansas with a 100-mile wind swath, power outages stack up fast. June 2026 does not feel active yet, but models are unanimous that activity picks up dramatically. The European Models Ensemble shows 70% probability of above normal severe weather in June. Last year, June produced 287 tornadoes across the U.S. This June could approach or exceed that number. Strong northerly flow keeps the Northeast chilly through the first 2 days of June. By June 3rd and 4th, the Omega block breaks down and good Lord, what follows looks active. The European model hints at significant storm systems entering the country in the second week of June. Those systems would bring a much higher severe weather threat to the Great Plains and Southeast. Sunday and Monday, the Montana low keeps spinning, fueling another round of plains severe storms. Monday and Tuesday look like rinse and repeat mesoscale severe clusters roaring back across the plains. By Wednesday and Thursday, high pressure builds across the Great Lakes, but severe weather does not fully suppress. Not going to lie, the Montana low pushing into Canada by Wednesday could leave residual Midwest severe activity. The southern plains and southeast stay soaked for 1 to 2 more weeks, no relief in sight. Baton Rouge, Houma, and New Orleans pick up 4 to 7 inches of rain through June 5th. New Orleans averages 6 inches in all of June. This pattern could deliver that in 5 days. 4 to 7 inches on saturated Louisiana soil. That is a serious, prolonged flash flooding threat. Donna, a retired nurse in Baton Rouge, asked if the rain stops Donna, not anytime this week. One more thing, this is big. The tropical question gets harder to ignore by June 1st. The European model and other guidance have been hinting at tropical development over the Gulf for several days. Nothing in current data makes me confident a tropical storm forms in the next several days. Honestly, a low-end chance of tropical development in the first week of June cannot be dismissed. If anything develops, the story is massive rainfall across the southeast, not wind, just gully washers. Gulf sea surface temperatures are running warm enough to support development if shear cooperates. Here is your complete 3-part Memorial Day weekend action plan. Burn this into your memory. If a tornado warning is issued, move to the lowest interior floor away from all exterior windows immediately. Do not shelter under an overpass. Wind accelerates through that gap and the debris risk becomes lethal. Hail over 2 inches falls at roughly 90 miles per hour. It cracks windshields and can injure people outdoors. Have a battery-powered weather radio as a backup. Cell towers can fail during widespread severe weather events. Saturday's dry line stretches roughly 500 miles from Wyoming to the Texas Panhandle, 6.71 million at risk. The slight risk for Saturday covers 264,884 people in Rapid City and western Nebraska alone. Gulf Coast June rainfall is forecast at 150 to 200% of normal through mid-month. Southwest today, no outdoor fires, no burning debris, and keep vehicles off dry grass. New England, the cold is real, the snow is real, and Saturday morning will be genuinely raw. Mark my words, June 2026 is setting up to be a very active, severe weather month. Drop your city in the comments. The most requested location gets dedicated coverage in tonight's full update. 80 miles per hour Texas winds today, the biggest plains severe day in 2 weeks Saturday, late May snow tonight. 3 completely different weather emergencies happening simultaneously from Texas to New England this Memorial Day. Check back tonight. The 6 p.m. SPC update just posted and Saturday's tornado outlook is being discussed.